Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to Ellis Mowers. We are on part 2 of this wizard riding mower. Basically the same thing as a Craftsman, same thing as a Husqvarna, Weed Eater, Yard Pro, Arians. I mean, the list goes on and on. But we're working on this one today. In part 1, y'all saw that I got it running, and what I found out is that the transaxle pulley is rusted out completely on it. And so that's what part 2 is going to be about. I'm thinking that it potentially might be easier to swap out the entire transaxle as opposed to the pulley. And the reason why is this: if y'all saw in part 1, I have this Yard Pro out here that's basically a carbon copy of it. Same transmission and everything, except this is a 6-speed as opposed to a 5-speed, is all I can tell the difference in. And same setup and everything on it. So I think it might have a little bit narrower stance to it, but apart from that, I think we're gonna be able to swap it straight up. Just from what I can tell, might have to put the wheels from this one onto the new transaxle, because the pulleys are different. And I'll show you. I'm going to pull these 4 bolts out right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to take this back access panel off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here with the transaxle. So let me start out. Let me grab my jack, and I'll grab my jack. I'll jack it up. Hopefully I can take these 2 back tires off without any trouble. That'll give me better access to the access panel on the back. And then once I get that, then I'll show you how to do all this. This is probably one of the easiest transaxles you're going to be able to take off of a riding mower. It really doesn't look hard. You don't have any springs or anything to deal with. You just have a brake linkage and the drive belt, basically. I can tell you from experience, doing an MTD and a Murray is nowhere near as easy as what this is going to be. So I'm going to take some dust covers off. You can do this many ways. Sometimes if they don't come off easily, you can just heat them up and they'll come off pretty easily after that. We'll see if I can just pull these off. Yeah. Best to put it in gear. And the transaxle works great on this thing. It's just got a rusted out pulley on it, and I can show that to you. I can show it to you right here, actually. I didn't show it to you very well in part 1 because that's what it looks like. It's in pretty bad shape. I don't even know if I'd be able to get it off, to be honest with you. I was able to get off a couple others earlier in the year that were about this bad, or at least one of them was. But yeah, as you can see, it's really, really, really bad. So what I'm going to do, I'll take the wheels off, and I'll show you how to take the wheels off. I won't waste camera time. You might need to put some PB Blaster if you see that the wheels are rusted like this into it. but it's just an E-clamp. After the dust cover, it's just an E-clamp, and then you just kind of wiggle them out. You just wiggle them out. So that's what I'm going to do to both of the wheels. That way it'll give us better access to the transaxle. And with the amount of work that it'll take to take this out, I'll probably just go ahead and take it out, and we'll compare the two. I'll do the same thing to the other riding mower. But I'll show you the mounting points and stuff like that, where it mounts and what you have to take off in order to get to what you need to get to. Alrighty, y'all, I got the wheels off here. I got the other one off. It looks exactly the same. I'll show you the models of these. They're both spicers, actually. So, a 161453, it looks like, 4360-120. And then, let me see if I can show you the other one over here. See, a 142067. So looking at them, they are the exact same in the way that they mount and everything, so that's kind of nice, except this one mounts at the narrower cross points instead of the wider cross points. So mine mounts right here, the one I'm going to be putting it on, so I have to clean out those holes. But looks like it's a direct fit, maybe apart from the shift arm, which I might have to change out. I might have to change out the shift arm, but that's it. That's seriously it. Everything else looks like it's going to come off pretty easy. Let me grab my items here, and we'll go ahead and start working on it. I'll show you how I'm going to take it off. Now, there is a rod that goes from, or a linkage that goes from the park brake here to the back to engage the actual brakes of the mower. That weed eater mower does not have it on it, but this one does. I knew this mower would come in handy whenever I got it, but your linkage is right here. This is where it mounts, so you might have to take a clip or something out in order to get that out right here. But that should be it. Looks like the brakes are working good on this one and everything. So you're going to take your clip out right here on the other side. I don't know if there's a better way for me to show you real quick. But that's an additional step that you'll have to do that I'm not going to have to do on this other one. I can't really show it to you very well, I don't think. Let's see. It's right, hold on, right there. And that way the whole rod and everything will come out with it. And what it should do is just drop straight down. After you take the drive belt off back here in the back, it should just drop straight down. But the way that this pulley mounts is a little bit different. Just a little bit different than the other one. I don't know if it's because this is on the bottom or this is below. I think it's mounted a little bit lower. Because I've got it mounted. Yeah, it's actually mounted a little bit lower, so I will have to switch the pulley to a different location to make it a little bit higher. Because the spacer's down here on the bottom of this one and the spacer's on top of the other one. So, makes you wonder if I can just get that pulley off of the other mower over here and get it on to this transaxle. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. I know both transaxles are good. I just need to get the pulleys, and the pulleys are in different locations on both because the spacer is, yeah, either way I gotta change the spacer out. So I'm going to have to at least get the pulley off of this one to get it off. I don't know if there's going to be any getting the pulley off of this other one. Anyways, so that's one little hiccup I've run into, but that's it. Otherwise, it should be a direct replacement, and I can try to get this pulley off. I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'll let you know what I end up deciding to do. Because like I said, I know this transaxle is good. If I don't have to swap the entire thing, then I won't. But again, I got to work on the brakes on this one, so it's like, well, might as well just swap out the whole thing, because I know that other one's in much better shape. But let me show you what you have to do. You have to take these two bolts out right here, and there's a bolt right here on the bottom, right here, and a bolt, and then the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3. That should allow it to just come completely off and to just drop straight down, linkage and everything, as long as you take the ball off the top right here, which is what I'll do real quick. I might try messing around with the pulley off camera, but I at least wanted to show you the way, what you needed to do to get this transaxle off. So I'm going to drop the transaxle after I kind of mess with this drive pulley a little bit, and then I'll continue with the other one. I'll tell you what, I love parts mowers, but let me tell you what I ended up doing. So, because I wanted to experiment, and I got both the pulleys off, as you can see. All you got to do, there's an O-ring that holds the pulley onto the transaxle up top here. Right there is where it mounts. So you just take some O-ring pliers, and you pop that O-ring off, and that gets you to these pulleys. Now the pulley is the same on both. I thought it was different, but this one was mounted upside down as opposed to this one. So check out the other side of this. They're exactly the same. This one just mounted downwards, or with this on the top, and this one just mounted with this on the bottom. So I can reuse this pulley. So in theory, all I got to do, and I'll tell you what I ended up doing, because I had a rusted pulley on this one, as y'all saw, and I thought there ain't no way in the world I'm going to be able to get this off. Well, I was able to get it off, which was kind of nice, because that opens up my options quite a bit now. So, and it may prevent me from having to actually do a complete transaxle swap. We're gonna test everything out here in just a second, though. I'm gonna clean some stuff up first with some with my drill and my with my drill and my wire brush. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. So I'm going to pop some PB Blaster onto this. And remember, I'm going to have the spacer in the down position. So there's also a keyway that this will go into. So we're going to fit it into the keyway. I'm kind of glad I got to do this, because I had to do one of these earlier this year, but I had to do it off. I did it all off camera. There, perfect. So the O-ring, I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'm going to pop the O-ring in. And we have a good pulley now. So this is, I mean, it may take the same amount of time as just swapping the entire transaxle, but what I can do is I can keep that transaxle, which is a 6-speed, and if I have a transaxle that goes out on another Craftsman that comes in, I can just pop that one in, call it a day. I got $50 in that mower, and this pulley right here I think is $30 by itself, so I'm already almost in the good on it. Let me grab the O-ring pliers real quick. How about y'all come with me and I'll show you. Let's see. I didn't want to pull this thing in just to take off the pulley. So here's the O-ring. Or the O-ring clamp, whatever you want to call it, and the pliers. Like I said, the good news is I've already got good, I already know the transaxle is good. I just needed the pulley on it. And this pulley is in awesome shape. I think battery acid and stuff rusts out the pulleys pretty bad. So, I'm coming through the back here. And yeah, we're good. If I really wanted to make sure I was good, I'd put a welder on it, but I don't need to do that on this one. I reckon that Murray that y'all saw me do that with is doing well, because I ain't heard nothing from the guy, and it's been a couple of weeks, so it hasn't been a couple of weeks. Either way, I know he's had to have cut the grass with it, so. I'm just going ahead and putting the belt back in place while I've got it off. I just got to put it around the little mounts. Sometimes it's easier to rotate the pulley. This has got a little spring action on the actual guide, where I was hoping I could just fit it in there and not have to. I love belt guides, but man, putting belts on is not always the easiest thing when you have them. There we go. Alright, so that one's in. She's ready to rock and roll. What I'm going to do, while I got the tires off, is I got to tube them as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put tubes in them. Clean up this with a wire drill and a wire brush. That way they slide on very easily. And then I know I'm not going to have any brakes because I've got to take that rod off of the other one. But I could totally test it out after this, because she's ready to rock and roll, I think. Apart from fixing the brakes and stuff. I might go ahead and do that while I'm off camera. I have a how-to on fixing the brakes, and I'll put that in a link below. That way I don't waste any time doing this. So let me go ahead and fix the brakes before I put the wheels back on. Y'all see the wheels back on it. I won't put the, I'll go ahead and put my cover back on it too, because I know I'm done back here. I'm done. That's all I needed to do. So let me fix the brakes. I'll put a link in the description to that video. It'll be specific to fixing the brakes on one of these. And yeah, we'll test drive this thing around next. I might show you how to put the rod in, the little brake rod in. I'll probably do that, and then we'll give it a good little test. And I think that'll be a good end to part 2 for this. Alright, so I found the arms to be a little bit different from that old riding mower over there to this one. So I'm not going to be able to use that one. However, I've got another Wizard just like it that I'm kind of been taking parts and such off of. You see the difference in the length. The longer arm obviously is going to the one that we're about to put, that we're going to put onto this. I don't know how well I can show you, but it mounts, or it will mount, up into, it's best to slide it into, with the spring, slide it into your mechanism, your brakes, and then from there put it in the hole, which is right here for your brakes. I don't know how well I'm showing it to you, but you'll get it right in there. I had to do it off camera, but it goes into that hole right there. And then you put a washer on this side of it, and then you put a locking pin onto it as well. And after you do that, then you're in good shape. And your brakes should work. Like I said, I'm going to put a link in the description. I fixed the brakes on it. So we'll go from there. And I'll put tubes in the remainder of the 3 tires, crank it up, and hopefully we'll be able to drive this thing around, and we'll end part 2 and finish with the, we'll put the deck install on part 3 and hopefully get this thing fixed and finished and ready to rock and roll. Alrighty, I'm going to put you over here. I got the battery hooked up and everything for the transaxle. Let's see if we have movement. Granted that it will start for us. Y'all, that's a good thing. I put tire tubes and stuff in it too. Hopefully I showed y'all enough of what I did to the transaxle. Basically it was just a pulley swap is all I needed to do to make it work. So I'm glad it worked well. Now I'm going to go ahead and give it an oil change, and we'll end part 2 here. In part 3 what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the deck on it. I'll put the deck on it, the blades. We'll go ahead and clean everything up, and like I said, hopefully we'll have a good lawnmower here. I don't think we'll have any trouble, fingers crossed, as long as the deck and everything works well. I got the belts and everything for it, so hopefully I can just pop that deck on and I'll be good. I thank y'all for watching as always. I'll catch y'all on the next video, and which will be part 3 of this wizard. We'll put the deck on, and we'll hopefully get this thing sent on down the line. Catch you then.